Welcome. Welcome to the second year chemistry labs. My name is Markus Müller and I'm the second year lab director. Please follow this presentation closely.
The second year chemistry labs are on level 5 of the chemistry building, at the same end of the corridor as the first year labs. This introductory video will tell you a bit about how these labs will run. You must watch this video and answer the short quiz about what you've seen before you can access other important parts of this Blackboard site. As part of this lab course you must attend 5 lab sessions in weeks 9 to 13. Labs run from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Make sure that you turn up, ready to start, at 1 p.m. You will be rotating through 5 different experiments in this lab course. You will rotate through all 5 experiments according to your group. Your timetable tells you which day you have lab, and you will be advised by email which group you are in. The lab groups are full, so we cannot allow students to swap between days or catch up on missed labs. It is therefore essential that you attend the day for which you have been timetabled. If you absolutely must change lab days for 1 week, you must contact me at least a week in advance to organize this swap. If you just turn up at the lab you won't be allowed in. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the lab program folder on Blackboard, as it contains all the essential information you will need for the course, including the pre-work quizzes, the folder for report submission, and other important information like appendices on lab techniques. This year you are expected to be able to use ChemSketch, or a similar structure drawing program, and Excel, or a similar spreadsheet and graphing program. Information about these can be found in the training folder, which contains a link to a video tutorials on ChemSketch and Marvin Sketch, and the Enroll Me Excel learning site. You should try to do this training as soon as you can.
The first thing you must do, as soon as you can, is to pick up a lab manual for your unit of study, CHEM2404, from the Level 5 service room. You will be advised in lectures and on this site when these are available to collect. Please read through this thoroughly as it contains all the information you need about these labs. Before you come to class each week you must complete the online pre-work for the experiment you'll be doing. This is a very easy quiz, just 5-10 mostly multiple choice questions, and many of the answers can be found in the lab manual. You can attempt this quiz as many times as you like, but you must get 100% in order to be admitted to the lab. This will then contribute 10% of your mark for each lab. The pre-work is essential. It is designed to make you read the lab manual before you come in to do the experiment, and to cover any safety issues. If you haven't done the pre-work, you won't be allowed into the lab, and you will therefore get a mark of 0 for that week. All pre-work is in a folder on this Blackboard site, but you won't be able to access it until you have completed the short quiz below this video. Experiments can often take the full 4-hour lab session, so it is essential to make sure that you have read the lab manual, and plan for your experiment, before you come to class.
Most experiments will be performed individually, but for a couple you will be working in groups of 2 or 3. In addition, for the 2-part labs you will pool your data at the end of the lab, and use the combined data to write your report. You will be given a lab notebook that looks like this. You must record all your data in the notebook, including pasting results sheets or printed spectra, and write down anything that is important. If you want to query a mark or ask a question, you must bring your notebook with you so that we can check what you actually did in the lab. In your first lab, you'll be given a yellow card. This card will show your group and your individual timetable, and it will also contain spots for the demonstrators or technicians to sign so that you can be issued with chemicals in the lab, or to acknowledge that you handed in a sample. Paste this inside the front cover of your lab book. If you completed chemistry labs last semester, and you still have your lab notebook, then please continue to use it. This will save us from wasting half-filled notebooks.
There are lots of people to help you in labs. Each day, there will be 3 demonstrators, 1 with each group, plus an academic supervisor. Shane and Carlo at the service room will also be able to help you. Before you start each lab, a demonstrator will give a brief introductory talk. It is essential that you arrive at the lab by 1 p.m., so you don't miss this talk. From time to time the demonstrator may also gather the group together to go over some aspect of the experiment or data analysis. You must also make sure you finish with plenty of time left to clean up and to leave by 5 p.m. The lab doors shut and lock at 5:15, so you must be out by then. You must clean up your lab space before you leave, and leave it looking the same as when you came in. Students the next day will be using the same equipment and glassware as you, so you each need to make sure that things are neat and tidy for the next lot of students. If you leave without cleaning up, you may be penalized 10% of your mark. Overall, approximately 50% of the marks for the lab course come from the results you obtain, 40% from your reports, which may be a short written report, a poster, or an oral presentation, and 10% comes from the pre-work. More information about the breakdown of marks can be found in the lab manual. The results mark will be based on your performance in the lab, the accuracy of your measurement. The report mark will be based on how you write and present the report and consider the discussion questions. Your report is submitted, marked and feedback returned to you on Blackboard through Turnitin. You must view a short video on report submission and complete the associated quiz before you can submit any reports. There is lots of information about how to write reports in the lab manual and on Blackboard, so make sure you consult it. During the first week of lab, your demonstrator will also provide some training about presentation of results in reports.
It is essential that you think about and work safely whenever you are in the lab. You must be wearing closed shoes, safety glasses, a lab coat and have long hair tied back at all times. Whenever you step out of the lab, even if it's just to go to the toilet, you must take off your lab coat. You are not allowed to wear a lab coat anywhere in the common areas of the building. As usual, there should be no eating or drinking in the laboratory, and you are not permitted to use your mobile phones while you are in the lab. If you absolutely must take a call, please step outside. The only exception to this rule is that you may use your camera to photograph some results for your report, such as your TLC plates in Experiment 5. There is a safety map in the lab manual, which will help you identify all important safety features. You must complete this map and have it signed by a demonstrator when you first come to the lab before starting any experimental work. One aspect of safety is that we need to keep track of who is in the lab at all times in case of an evacuation. We are doing this by having a sign-in, sign-out computer where you can scan your student cards each time you walk in or out of the lab. You must do this, even if you are just going out to the toilets or to have a drink of water. The computer will record your attendance at the lab, but we will not record any other information. We are only collecting this information for safety. If you don't have your student card with you, you can type in your SID.
This is all what we wanted to say for now. You can now look forward to coming into the lab and doing some fun experiments over this semester. Right now, make sure you do the quiz just below this video, and remember to pick up a lab manual and do your pre-work before you come to class. Don't forget to watch the video and complete the quiz on report submission before you are ready to submit your first report. See you in the lab. Bye.